Brian. Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful day out. Brian Morris was kind enough to reach out. You need this closer? Reach out a couple weeks ago and invite me to come and give a little update on tourism, our sort of a recap of our 2024 and what we've got going on for 2025. We did celebrate National Travel and Tourism Week last month in May, and that was sort of the theme for our annual meeting as the CVB to kind of recap a fantastic 2024 season for us. Obviously, we try to bring folks to the region and get them to stay as long as we can. So we work very closely with our hotel partners to try to fill up their rooms. The average day tripper spends about $150 a day when they visit, but an overnight visitor spends about $350. So you can imagine the impact on our economy. The longer those people stay, the more money they spend at our small businesses, and so that's good for us and good for our area. Last year, we had a 23% increase in hotel stays in Mercer and Auglaize County. That was the largest year-over-year increase in 15 years and the largest amount of gross hotel receipts that we've ever had in our region. So literally more people than ever before are coming to our area than we've ever seen. So that's a great thing. For us, it's hard to try to figure out how to maintain that momentum. And I think this was something that I shared the last time that I was here, but we can actually quantify the impact that those visitors have on our economy. And we know this from the Ohio Department of Development. They do a economic impact report for every county in Ohio. And for our area, which is combined Mercer and Auglaize County, it's a $268 million annual economic impact that visitors have coming here and spending money here. That supports almost 3,300 jobs in our area. 5.5% of all employment in Mercer and Auglaize County is supported by tourism and visitors coming here and spending their hard-earned money right here in our own backyard. So it's very important, this industry that we do, try to keep it as strong as we can. And so those are really big numbers. For us, it's our job now to figure out how do we maintain that momentum? How do we keep people coming back? How do we continue to maintain our region as top of mind for them when they're making their travel plans for the year? One of the things that we launched this year is our brand new visitor's guide. I've got a couple copies here if anybody hasn't picked these up yet, but we totally reimagined this for 2025. It's definitely heavier on inspiration, very photo heavy. We really want this to be part of the decision-making process for people when they're making their travel plans. We want this piece to influence people to decide to travel here rather than just be a purely informational piece. We print 22,000 of these every single year. They're all across the state, all across the Midwest. We've already distributed over 18,000 of them. So I'm hoping that they'll last through the year because we're well ahead of where we were certainly last year. And the response so far to this has been really terrific. Probably one of the most visible things and changes that we made for 2025 has been the launch of our new brand. And you may have seen this in some of the marketing that we've put out recently. As we were going through the ideation phase of how to sort of take us to that next level, the concept of space kept coming up a lot. If you know Mercer Auglaize County, we've got plenty of wide open spaces in our areas, being a large agricultural community. But we also have Grand Lake St. Mary's, the largest inland lake in Ohio, where there's plenty of space to stretch out and relax and soak up the sun. But on the other side of the region then, in Wapakoneta, we literally have a piece of space at the Armstrong Air and Space Museum. So for 2025, we're inviting our visitors to find the sun and the moon in Ohio's Grand Lake region, and that's how we're going to market now. And we're being a little tongue-in-cheek, with a lot of our marketing. We're not Key West. we're West Ohio. We're our own unique, special thing. And so when people come to our area, they discover what we're all about for the first time. I know that's something Jared Ebbing says a lot. You know, if we can just get them here, they'll understand how special this place is, and we truly believe that. This is an example just of some of the creative that we have out right now. Both of these are actually billboards that are up in Indian Lake right now, which I really like. So we, again, playing up that tongue-in-cheek, no, we're not Florida, we're something different and special. I love that ad with the kids at the Armstrong Museum, grab the kids' honey, we're taking off for the day, a little bit of a play on that space theme. So when you launch a new brand, there's a little nerves on how is this brand going to be received, what kind of engagement are you going to get as this sort of gets out sort of in the ether. We launched this new brand on April 1st. And the initial results have been really great. For April, our reach on Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, that's where primarily we spend a lot of our efforts on social media. There's most of our audience, the biggest audience is there on those platforms. They also have the most robust ads platform as well. So our reach on those platforms was up 88% versus April of 2024. And we had 1 million content views just on Meta alone. Our content was shown to people 1 million times just in the month of April. And we saw a 26% increase in web traffic versus April 2024. I was a little nervous that momentum wasn't going to continue in May. You just don't really know what you're going to get. But it's been actually accelerated since then. Our Meta reach in May was up 144% versus May of 2024, and we had over 1.5 million content views in that month as well. And that led to a 41% increase in our web traffic. So more people are seeing this branding than ever before. We've also expanded the markets that we're doing paid media in. So this is sort of these are sort of the typical markets. That we're in. Dayton and Cincinnati are our number one markets, but we've expanded and started putting paid advertising in the Columbus market now. And so we're sort of competing for those travelers who otherwise maybe would go to Buckeye Lake or Indian Lake. We want them to come to our lake now. And so we're seeing a lot. Actually, Columbus is our number one market that is seeing our paid media right now. So that tactic, I think, is really paying off. So this has been wildly successful. Again, it's still very early, but we're very, there's a lot of confidence that this brand is really going to do a lot of things for us, again, to help take us to the next level. So people are seeing that out on social media, in other media that we have. So one of the things that we also wanted to try to engage folks in is not only are they seeing this when they're making those decisions to come here, but how do we engage the brand when people are here, not only visitors, but locals as well. We want locals to buy into this brand as well. So we recently printed some new light pole banners. These will be going up on West Bank Road, right by Boardwalk, from Boardwalk all the way down to the Spillway. We partnered with the city of Salina to do this. These are getting printed right now and should be here, we hope, next week to get up for the rest of the summer season. But just again, a great extension of our brand with some great fun sayings, and hopefully it gets a little bit of attention as well. We also printed brand new window decals and stickers for a lot of our businesses. So if you're a business owner here today, I've got some of these as well if you want to put them in your door, your front window. This is just a little play on words that ties into our website, but also a few of the things that you can actually see when you're here: sun, fun, wows, cows, space, place, eagles, boats, floats, palm trees, even Bigfoot. So hopefully, again, some of the locals, there are things here maybe they don't even know that we have, and hopefully it gets them excited and exploring our website and things. So travel and tourism is a big deal for us. It supports our local economy. I know our hotels here in town are booked up today. The Best Western sold out this weekend. West Bank Inn sold out this weekend. The Quality Inn in St. Mary's is sold out. The Dream at Eldora is certainly helping with that. But I was at Boardwalk Grill yesterday and just rounded the corner and parked right behind the restaurant. I didn't even get back behind the cottages, but just in that little circle, there were license plates from Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Alabama. And those people are here spending their hard-earned dollars at our small businesses and supporting jobs. And that's a great thing. That's great for our area, and we hope to see that momentum continue all throughout the year. So, can I take questions now, or if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Yeah.
So, since COVID, has seen problem about health, especially in restaurants. Are you seeing that getting better, or have you heard anything about?
Was it labor force? Is that what you were asking about? Yeah, the question was about, especially in the restaurant business, how hard is it to find folks, and that's true. We're definitely seeing that. We're not seeing that problem alleviate yet. I think every industry, and if you probably talk to Jared and everybody else, they're all, everybody's struggling to find employees right now. I know the state, the Ohio Travel Association, which we're members of, and that includes restaurants and attractions and zoos, they're working with a lot of career tech, trying to get those certifications in places like a TriStar, to get those hospitality businesses in front of kids and let them know that they're not just temporary part-time jobs. You can build real careers in the hospitality industry. So those efforts are underway. They're working with the State Department of Education and Workforce to try to get some of those careers out in front of kids and help them understand that you can have a really great career in our industry, and they're not just temporary jobs. So I know those efforts are underway, but it's not a quick solution. But there are things that are happening behind the scenes.
Do you say it's improved in the last few years, or not really? It's still so bad?
I would say there probably hasn't been a huge marked improvement. I think between the labor market is just so tight and competitive right now. When you've got manufacturers out with incentives, promoting jobs that they have as well. It's just a tight labor market, and so we certainly want to help alleviate those things. And I think the industry right now sees education as the best way to do that, to go into the schools and try to get kids interested in those kind of careers. But those efforts are underway. It's just never an overnight fix, unfortunately. So, any other questions? Thank you, guys.